Good day, Grand Park community. It's Courtney. How are you? I love you. I hope everybody is doing well out there. There's a lot going on. My heart is heavy with it all, and I'm so grateful we can continue to gather like this together, to be intentional, and to have some time for ourselves so that we can regroup and show up to the world a little better. That's what yoga does for me. Today I invite us, and I'm going to focus our class around focus. So I have been feeling very unfocused lately. I've been feeling like the news is pulling me in all different directions. My emotions are pulling me in all different directions. The voices I'm listening to are pulling me in all different directions. And yoga to me is a practice of focus. We're going to be focusing on something today called a drishti, which is giving ourselves a focal point. And we'll be doing that because when we steady our focus, it helps to steady the mind. So for example, if you're if you're in a pose, like say you're in like tree pose and you're like looking all around, that's where your focus is going to go, right? Whatever we're doing, whatever we're looking at, whatever path of the mind we're following, can be really problematic if it's not where we should be focusing ourselves. We're going to be also doing a lot of balance poses today because balancing helps us to focus. It's really hard to balance if we're not focused. So I invite us all to do our best to try. I hope you feel a little bit more centered and grounded at the end of class today. So let's start in our comfortable seat. If you're not there already, please find a tall spine. So grounding your sit bones down, rising your heart up, sending your palms down on your thighs today. So really let the palms be heavy. Send the shoulders away from your ears. Let's close our eyes. And we're just going to do one check-in today. We're going to check in with our mind. Where is your mind right now? I'm not going to scold you if your mind isn't here yet because we're just getting started. But notice if your mind is where it just was. Or notice if your mind starts to get caught up in a thought. Or if your mind is on what you're going to have for lunch after this, or how you're going to solve a problem after this. See if you can commit yourself for the next 45 minutes or so to really be here. You showed up, you're here. We might as well make the most of our time by committing to be here together. If you're with me on that path, draw your hands in a gesture at your heart, bow your chin into your beautiful heart, flutter your eyes open, vowing to be right here. Start to take in your space. See if you can keep your focus soft. So see if you can notice your body in space, but notice your body as the most important thing in the room right now. And then from here, we will start standing. So we're going to start with some balancing. Balancing can be frustrating for me too, but we're going to keep trying to bring back our focus to here. So we'll start in our mountain pose. Let's ground down before we do anything. So feet are hips distance. Press down into your feet, press down into your heels. Hands are out to the side, shoulders are rolling away from your ears. Stand in yourself, and we'll start with our drishti, so our focal point. So choose something in front of you, probably not the screen, not me, because I'm going to be moving. Pick something at eye level in front of you that will not move. Send all your attention to that point. And then from your feet, start to press into the balls of your feet, rise your heels. Keep looking at your point, keep steadying your focus. Exhale, the heels come down, the toes rise up. A few more rounds. Keep your focus, press down into the balls of the feet, rise your heels. Keep your drishti, settle your heels down, rise your toes. 2 more times. Press down into the balls of the feet, rise your heels. Send your heels down, rise your toes. Send the balls of your feet down, rise your heels. Send your heels down, rise your toes. Really nice. Draw your hands to your hips. Keep your drishti. Press down into your right foot. See if you can rise your left knee to hip height. Notice that the balance might be like, ooh, can you keep pressing down in your extended leg? If this is not an option for you, you can always tap your left toes down to the mat, down to the floor, and still work on your balance. How's your gaze point? How's your breath? Release your left foot down, glue your left foot to the mat. Before you move to balance, steady your gaze on one point. Press down into your extended leg, draw your right knee maybe to hip height, maybe the right toes are down. Send your shoulders away from your ears, soften your jaw. And then exhale, tap your foot down, really nice. Mountain pose, hands come to the side, shoulders rise, down the back. Next inhale, rise your arms up, coming in for a few sun salutations, just to warm up. Exhale to fold. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale to a fold. Inhale, rise your arms tall. Exhale, draw your hands to your heart. This time when you do it, before you move, keep picking points to look at. So obviously our drishti is going to change as we're moving. So look ahead of you, look up, and then inhale, rise your arms. Exhale, find your gaze point at the floor, forward fold. Inhale, rise your heart, gaze point a little farther on the floor. Exhale, steady your gaze, forward fold. Inhale, rise your arms tall. Exhale, draw your hands to your heart. For this next one, I want you to close your eyes. Keep your feet glued to the earth. Inhale, rise your arms. So the eyes are closed. Exhale to forward fold with as much bend in your knees as you need. Keep your feet glued to earth. Inhale, heart rises, flat back. Exhale, heart folds into thighs. Inhale, rise your arms tall. Exhale, draw your hands to your heart. Keep your eyes closed. Keep grounding down into your feet. Eyes open, palms come to side, mountain pose. From here, let's rise our arms tall. Gaze at one point, grab your right wrist with your left hand, press down into your right foot, and then reach up and over, steadying your gaze on one point. The gaze point could even be up at the ceiling or at eye level. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, other side. So we're going to grab the left wrist with the right hand, press into your left foot, reach up and over, steady your gaze. Choose something to look at. Maybe a little speck on your ceiling. Maybe a little part of tile on whatever you're looking at in front of you. Inhale, back to center. And then exhale, find your mountain pose. So we're going to come into tree. Very strong balancing pose. We're going to work on tree a couple different ways today. So first, pick your drishti. So pick something to look at that's not moving. Send all your attention to that point. Take your hands to your hips. Keep pressing down into your left leg. Left thigh gets really strong. Gaze point is really focused. Take your right foot into your right ankle. How's your breath? Maybe even imagine you are breathing in and out of whatever you're looking at. So the breath is connected to the focus. So if you're feeling wobbly here, please stay here. Keep working here. So you're already at your edge, and this is a beautiful place to work. If you want to move a little deeper, without looking down, see if you can move the foot to the calf or to the inner thigh. Keep your focus really strong. And if you learn that taking a deeper version isn't the right thing today, take your foot back down to your calf. Breathe in and out of your focal point. Keep pressing down into your extended left leg, your left foot, your left heel. From here, we're going to grow it even more. So by growing it more, we're going to close our eyes. Let the focus come inside. Keep pressing down into your left foot. If you fall, it's okay. And then release out of the shape. Really nice. Other side. So we're grounding down into our right foot. Hands come to the hips. Building it nice and slow. Get your focus right. Instead of just moving into it, really set it up. So be intentional about where you're moving from. So gazing to your drishti. Right leg is really strong. Right foot is pressing down. Left foot comes out like a kickstand. Keep breathing and looking in and out of your drishti point. Really let that connect you with your balance. And then from this, if this is where you are today, please stay here. So if you're already feeling wobbly, you could even come to a wall and place one of your hands at a wall. Keep your focus strong without looking down. Left foot comes to the calf or the inner thigh. If you have the foot on the leg, think about pressing the leg into the foot. Keep looking at your drishti, your focal point. Breathe in and out of that. And then here's our final challenge. First, find your drishti, really look at it. Close your eyes, maybe even see if you can still see it. Keep pressing down into your right foot. It's okay if you wobble and fall. I'm wobbling and falling too. Release out of the shape. Really nice. Let's take one sun salutation. Inhale, rise your arms. Exhale, fold your heart. Inhale, lift your heart. Exhale, sink your heart. Inhale, rise your arms. Exhale, draw your hands to your heart. We're going to find our chair pose. We're going to add something today. We're going to come back to tree in a minute. But for now, we'll take a little pause in our chair pose. So sink your hips down. We're going to add something to chair today. So pressing the weight into the soles of your feet. Find a gaze point at the floor in front of you. Lift your heels. Woo, and then sink your heels, rise your toes. So similar to what we started with. 2 more times. Press into the balls of the feet. Rise your heels. If you're wobbling everywhere, pick a gaze point. Lift your toes. 1 more time. Press into your toes. Rise your heels. Exhale, heels come down, toes come up. Find a forward fold, release out of the shape. Feet come hips distance, little bend in your knees, grabbing opposite elbows. Even here in a forward fold, can you steady your gaze on one point? Put a little more bend in your knees, roll yourself up. We're going to come into one more round of tree. And here, I invite us all to find, I'm going to grab a yoga book, a yoga block. If you don't have a yoga block, see if you can grab like a really big book in your place. So a book or a yoga block. And then from here, we're going to take our block and you're going to place it the long way on the mat. So we're going to stand on the block. So you want to give your foot as much room as possible. So if this was a book, you would take it the vertical way, the way that we would read a book. If you have a block, it's the narrow way. So, and if you don't have either of those things, you can just come into traditional tree. So we're going to put our left foot on the book or the block. Hands come to your hips, and you're going to stand up on the book or the block. So congratulations, you're like 3 inches taller. Find your drishti, so your focal point, And you might just want to stay here, just kind of playing with really pressing down into your extended left leg. Maybe, and if you fall, you're going to fall like 2 inches, so hopefully that's not a big deal. Take your right foot into your calf or the inner thigh. Keep pressing down into the block or the book. Steady your gaze on one point. Keep your focus steady. Remember, you can do this at a wall if you need. I'm not going to ask you to close your eyes here. Keep your focus steady and strong. Keep grounding down into your left foot. And then release out of the shape, gently come down off it. We'll switch to the other side. So the right foot comes on the block. Find your gaze point and come to stand up on your book or your block. So the left toes are dangling down to the side, maybe even pressing down to the side if you're still getting used to balance here. Remember, wall is an option. Keep pressing down into your extended right leg. Keep focusing your attention on whatever you're looking at in front of you. And then maybe you stay here, or if you want to play with your balance, maybe foot to the calf, maybe foot to the inner thigh. Hands are at the hips. Gaze is steady at whatever you're looking at. Keep pressing down into the book or the block. Soften your jaw. Soften your experience by focusing your gaze. Take one more breath wherever you are. And then exhale to release. Really nice, you all. We're going to use the block in just a minute, or the book, so keep it to the side. We're going to come for legs up the wall. So really nice way to refocus is to do a restorative pose, to give ourselves that much needed rest and relaxation that we don't tend to do unless we're sleeping. We're not very good at resting and relaxing, at least in my experience. Okay, so let's find ourselves close to a wall. If you know how to get into it, get right into it. If you don't know, come down to your elbows. Make sure your hip and your shoulder are connected to the wall. That's a really important part. And then from here, send your legs up the wall. So you're in an L pose. Find as much bend in your knees as you need. And then find whatever positioning of the hands feels the best. So sometimes it feels good to me to have the hands on the body. Sometimes I would just want to like splay my arms out and take up a lot of space. And from here, we're going to do a couple different exercises to focus. So option 1 is to take a gaze point at the ceiling somewhere and really steady your focus there. So not kind of like looking all around. But for example, there's a little screw on my ceiling. I'm focusing on the screw. Or you could close your eyes here. And from here, our first focus point is going to be how this feels in the body. So use your awareness to draw you into the experience you're having. So in my body, I feel some little tingles in my legs. I feel the blood draining out of my legs and getting shot back up my legs. This is a nice way to create oxygen in the body. Maybe you have a different feeling. So really tuning into what this feels like in the mind. So if you've noticed maybe a little surrender of the mind, a surrender of your energy. Again, notice if you're looking around. Steady your gaze at something on the ceiling or close your eyes. So you're welcome to keep working with that first focus exercise to focus on what it feels like. If that feels kind of like a challenge for you to do and you keep having your mind run off, you might want to focus on your breath. So a lot of meditation teachers and yoga teachers talk about bringing our awareness to the breath because we're doing it, right? We're breathing, and our breath is a really nice way to connect ourselves to the present, to our bodies, to our spirits. So we're going to be here for another couple minutes. Option 1 is to focus on how this feels. Focus on the sensations in the body. Option 2 is to focus on your breath. And before I be quiet for those minutes, if you notice that it's too much in your legs, please listen to yourself and bend your knees, placing the soles of the feet where the knees just were. So just a couple minutes here and I'll call us back. Keep your focus on one of those things. For these last 30 seconds or so, just reminding us to gain control of our focus, either by focusing on the sensations or focusing on the breath. Call it back if you've gone somewhere else. Go ahead and start to slide your feet down the wall, bend your knees. And then rolling over to one side, make a little pillow for your head with your inner arm. And then using your free hand, press yourself up to a comfortable seat. So we're going to come in for a short meditation before we get to our backs. So find a seat. You could even come to sit up in a chair if that's more comfortable for you. If you're in a chair, place the soles of your feet down on the floor. If you're in a seat on the ground, make sure your sit bones are grounding down. Find a little lift of your heart, shoulders away from your ears. Pick a positioning of your hands. And then go ahead and close your eyes. And we're going to do a very simple, but maybe not the easiest form of meditation. So we're going to watch our minds. We're not trying to clear our minds of thought, but we're going to do something called a thought river. So I want you to place yourself in a space, in your mind by a river. So imagine you are sitting by a stream, a river. Maybe it's somewhere you've been before. Maybe it's something that's popping into your imagination. You'll sit in yourself. And we're going to use the breath as the focus. So we're going to watch ourselves inhale. We're going to watch ourselves exhale. We're going to do that for a couple minutes. And anytime you notice yourself not focusing on your breath, instead of beating yourself up about it, if a thought comes in, you're going to offer that thought to the river and watch it drift down the river. So we'll have the thought again, probably if you really need the thought, it'll come back to you later. But for the sake of our meditation, we'll focus on the inhale, focus on the exhale. If you notice that you're thinking instead of focusing on inhale or exhale, you take that thought, you drop it in the river and let it wash out, and then you come back to your breath. So I'm going to be quiet to let us all have this experience. I'll pop in a couple times to remind you to release any thoughts to the river if you don't even know that you're going there. So watching ourselves inhale, watching ourselves exhale, watching ourselves inhale, watching ourselves exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Continue on your own, watching your breath. If you're in a thought, send the thought down the river, come back to your breath. If you're in a thought, send the thought down the river, come back to your breath. If you're in a thought, send the thought down the river, come back to your breath. Just a few more cycles of breath here. Watching yourself inhale, watching yourself exhale. Start to flutter your eyes open, take back your space. And then go ahead and grab your book or your yoga block. We're going to come in for one more pose. This is going to be supported bridge. So you're going to come to lay on your back, have your block or your book somewhere where you can easily access it. Bend your knees, stack your heels underneath your knees, fingertips graze your heels. And then grab your book or your block, press down into your feet, rise your hips, and then slide the book or the block the horizontal way so that you have more space for your hips. So the wide way goes underneath the hips. And then position the block so you can fully rest your hips down. So if you have the block up too high, you're going to feel like an overarch. If you have the block too low, you're going to find a dip in your back. So it's kind of right along your pant line and then down towards your bum a little bit. Maybe place the hands on the body or down to the side. Find space around your neck by settling the shoulders away. And then you have your two options here. So you can either gaze at a point on the ceiling if you can really steady your focus, or you can close your eyes and go inward. We're going to be here for about a minute. Really give the weight of your hips over to the block or the book. If your eyes are closed, go ahead and flutter them open. Press into your feet, rise your hips up, and slide the block or the book out. Rest your hips down. Hug your knees in towards you. Take your hands to your kneecaps. Take a couple little circles either way, just to make sure we're releasing in the low back. And then come to find a comfortable position on your back. So you could come back to supported bridge if that felt really nice. You could also just place the soles of the feet down with the knees bent over, or you could lay out in what looks like a traditional Shavasana with the hands at the side and the ankles slightly moving out. I'm going to come up to talk us through some final breaths and relaxation together. So find a position where you can really be for the next 10 minutes or so. And then from here, I really recommend closing your eyes. If that doesn't feel safe for whatever reason, keep that focus on one point on the ceiling. We'll come in for counted breaths. This, in my experience, is a really great way to focus myself or to steady my mind before sleep. You could actually do this for yourself, but since I'm here, I'm going to talk us through it. The only thing you need to do is inhale when I say inhale and exhale when I say exhale. And I'll count us through 10 rounds of that to start. So let's all get our breath on the same cycle by taking an exhale out. Through your nose, inhale. Through your nose, exhale. That's one. Through your nose, inhale. Through your nose, exhale. That's two. Through your nose, inhale. Through your nose, exhale. That's three. Through your nose, inhale. Through your nose, exhale. That's four. Through your nose, inhale. Through your nose, exhale. That's five. Through your nose, inhale. Through your nose, exhale. That's six. Through your nose, inhale. Through your nose, exhale. That's seven. Through your nose, inhale. Through your nose, exhale. That's eight. Through your nose, inhale. Through your nose, exhale, that's 9. Through your nose, inhale. Through your nose, exhale, that's 10. Allow the breath to come back into your body as it wants. And we'll finish today with a short Yoga Nidra. And Yoga Nidra is a way to make sure we're not holding tension in the body, to release, to restore. I'm going to keep it really simple today. I'm going to call out different parts of the body. You'll just bring some awareness there and you'll release any tension by your awareness. Maybe it won't all go away, but maybe you'll just be holding yourself, and by me saying arm, you'll relax your arm. So first, just become aware of your body in space. Draw awareness to your feet. Draw awareness to your ankles, to your shins, the calves, knees, thighs, hips, belly, heart, mid-back, upper back, shoulders, collarbone, arms, elbows, wrists, palms, neck, throat, jaw, mouth, cheeks, nose, breath, ears, eyes, forehead, top of head, hair. Notice your body in space again. Let yourself go inside this space of open relaxation. We'll be here for a couple minutes in Shavasana. And Shavasana is a place where we actively watch our relaxation. So see if you can be fully in the experience of this shape while allowing yourself to open and relax. Starting to bring awareness back into your body with your breath. Starting to find any small movements to bring your focus back into your body. Maybe taking a full stretch by taking your arms up and overhead. Eventually rolling over to your right side, making a pillow for your head with your inner arm. And then feeling your connection to earth, press yourself up to a comfortable seat, just like we started. Draw the hands back down on the thighs. Find a lift of your heart. Settle your shoulders away from your ears. Close your eyes. And maybe notice the effects of your practice, the effects of steadying the mind and the focus. And I'm going to invite us all to take this idea into our actual lives. So maybe notice when you're falling into a pattern where your mind isn't steadying, where you're jumping from this to that, to this to that. Maybe notice the pattern and then choose to focus on just one thing. So it's not easy all the time, right? It's a practice. Drawing your hands in a gesture of prayer at your beautiful heart, bowing your chin into your chest. I'm really glad you are here today. The light in me acknowledges the light in all of you. Namaste. Thank you, yogis. I hope you feel more focused. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're healthy. I hope you're safe. And I'm sending you all my love from where I am. Namaste.